Welcome. My name is Erica, and this is Go Go Gospel. If you have been keeping up with my recent videos, my only videos, because this is a relatively new channel, you'll know that my basic setup is I ask a Bible trivia question, and then we answer it and talk about the Bible passages it came from. But today I wanted to start a new series where I just talk about the Bible straight up. And it's the King James Version. I remember one day I looked up what's the oldest, most accurate version of the Bible, and I had no idea. The deep dive I was in store. So today I want to just chat a little bit about the first book of the Old Testament, Genesis. Now, I'm not too sure which other Bibles, if they do, refer to Adam's rib as his side, because that is a mistranslation. Eve was not produced from a rib pulled out of Adam, which has a connotation of from Adam. Like, without Adam part, Eve couldn't, or the woman couldn't have existed or be created. What it more closely translates to is side. And that image is more equal. So I believe there is a reason why the vocabulary was switched out. And growing up, going to 12 years of Catholic school, learning from your elders that it's the rib. I mean, who's going to question it? I didn't question it. I don't think anybody questioned it. Someone might even try to downplay the difference in wording, or that it's just a minor mistranslation. But no, it's a huge mistranslation, because you are in effect saying that God created man and woman side by side, equal. Then I would like to jump to chapter 4, where we talk about Cain and Abel. I feel that Cain got the bad end of the stick. How was he supposed to know? Now, maybe when Cain got together his offering, maybe his heart wasn't in it, and God could tell. And Abel maybe was just a nicer guy, and had God on his mind, coming from love and worship, versus Cain. We are left with the impression that he just kind of grabbed some bread or some wheat, and I mean, he was a farmer, so of course he's not going to bring an animal sacrifice. I guess he could have. I don't know if that would have made God happy. God, would that have made you happy? I don't know. He's not taking questions right now. So that happens, and Cain is probably like, I brought you an offering. What do you want? Well, I want you to have the heart behind it as well. So that leaves Cain with a bad taste in his mouth. And it doesn't seem like God took the caring parent approach and was like, let me explain to you your error. Cain gets more upset, to the point where he wants, I guess, people will say,
oh, to be fair, Cain, this was the first murder. But I don't think they were that clueless because if Abel took a lamb to be sacrificed, that took a life. So there had to be some knowledge of alive, not alive. And so I wouldn't relieve Cain of any accountability in that regard. So he offs his brother. God comes and have you seen Abel around? And of course not. uh, and so there's just this tension, and Cain ends up getting kicked out. And by mom, by dad, whoever else is there. Because you have to remember, we're assuming Cain and Abel are at least young adults. Let's say even if they were 15 and 18, that's 15 to 18 years in between of them growing up. Basically, there might have been more children produced, right? And in between, and what, like, where'd they go? Where are they? And who are they? And so, yeah, so Cain gets kicked out, but oddly enough, because so far we think this is like it. Adam and Eve, this is where humanity started. But Cain is a bit worried that, word got around town and there might be some people, other people out there, uh, who, who will be upset about the first murder, and want to hurt him or kill him. So God marks him, mark of Cain. I've heard some people say that because God had some sympathy for him, he gave him a mark so that people knew not to hurt Cain. I tend to believe more the theory that God was thinking, oh, okay, you're worried that someone's going to hurt you when you leave, and that could be soon. So, with that in mind, I'm going to mark you, and anybody who hurts you is going to pay for it. So this will be a mark to show everyone to leave you alone because I don't want anyone putting you out of your misery too soon. That kind of makes more sense. Cain leaves and gets married. Like, where did she come from? And then he builds a city. Like, for who? I mean, it's not a camp, it's not an apartment complex, it's a full on city. Makes me wonder, okay, are these all like estranged children of Adam and Eve? I don't, were they like incestuously multiplying? Because we're kind of led to believe that this is where humanity began, as in there was nobody else on the planet that God just made. But okay, that's kind of stretching it. There's also a possibility that God, the Hebrew God, is their God. And there's other lesser gods who take care of other tribes, other groups of people. Not as powerful as God with a capital G. Maybe from the divine council that is mentioned a couple times. So, if that were the case, let's say little g God. Little g had these Nod people. Does that mean that they do not fall into the category of original sin, of being born with original sin? Because that pertains to Adam and Eve. So do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, I have questions. That's basically the theme for the whole book.